the
Yeah.
cloud. But when I actually started recording, it was Jacob taking credit for the reminder.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So today is a little bit terrifying, but not really. I'm just kidding. Today's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
Every class is terrifying.
Yes.
Every day is terrifying.
Every day is terrifying.
We have to get up and face it.
I just live in terror. Yeah. Whether it's class or not, it's
That's right.
it's
the
become a way
default.
of
This
life.
scary, evil world we live in.
Whatever what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Oh, well, you know what?
That's right.
I should be full of muscle,
That's right. That's right.
but I'm not. Keep working on it.
Well, I guess did you guys all have a chance to watch the videos?
I just watched the first one. I didn't see them until about 5 minutes before I signed in.
Yeah, I sent them late. I sent them late at night.
Yeah, I'm in bed at 10 o'clock, Trevor. I'm a big wimp.
I mean, that's what I keep telling Kristen about the dogs. The dogs, like, they go down at like 9:30. I'm like,
Yeah,
they need their rest.
they do.
So do you.
I know. I'll sleep when I'm dead. No, I'm just kidding. I love to sleep. I'm so much better when I get my sleep too. But it hasn't been, not this week.
Is
I
that
saw the
Kristen?
first one also, the short one. It was very interesting. I love the idea that it paints glimpses of things. And
Yeah, he would sketch every day and then take it back to his studio and kind of recreate it in his own way. I thought was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what the Walter Sickert was the big one that did that for that it was like kind of famous for it.
Yeah.
But Bonnard, he was friends with Van Gogh. Like they studied in the same school.
Yeah.
And they didn't mention, neither of the videos, they didn't mention the Van Gogh's influence, which
That's kind of odd.
I thought it was so weird. Yeah, he's a hangover. I mean, he is what Lautrec and Van Gogh would have been. Seurat, like if they had lived out their years, that's what it would have looked something like this. So there would have been maybe 2 or 3, evolutions and transformations that happened in their painting, had they made it, into the 40s, which was not unreasonable. I mean, they'd be old, but they'd be, 70s, 80s in the 1940s. So it's interesting to just like think of a world, had those giants survived. And even Delacroix Jericho making it to like 1900, what I'm like, what an amazing thing. But it was there's an anecdote that I remember from a really long time ago, and I'd like to look it up, but it was when Matisse and Bonnard, I guess, were sitting painting together, and they were reflecting, both old and looking back and thinking like, what has happened to the world that you and I are the 2 greatest living painters? And if you think about when they were when they had their training, like Eng was alive, Delacroix was alive in their prime. When they were young in school, they were just surrounded by giants. And the beginning of the 20th century just wiped things out. I mean, and just took such a crippling blow to the art world. And then I also thought it was interesting that they tried to make something of, Picasso not liking Bernard's work for some reason. I thought that was interesting. I could look into that more too. But really, it's what I thought Bonnard would be perfect for what we've been up to recently is, when we did the illustrations of the bear story, where we just started from absolutely nothing, like just words on a page, and just have to, visualize something and, put lines down. to the last week was the the Delacroix. Both of those just like really beautiful and like fully realized, but without any color. And anyway, I thought it would be nice to just look at something that was a little bit bare bones, somewhat bare bones, but also within that, there's a lot of creative freedom. There's a lot of liberties that you can take. And I thought it would just be nice to, sketch a couple of these to get the feel of it and get kind of some of his strategies on how he assembled different types of landscapes. And then just have like kind of a coloring exercise and see how in his mind, like Van Gogh, would differentiate between different parts of the picture based on unique mark making techniques that is pretty diverse. I mean, I kind of want to sketch this one. This was the one I wanted to sketch in pencil, because it's such it almost looks childlike, but it's so much more than that. And it's just there's an economy that they mentioned in the video that Picasso liked to paint directly and to get the image down with the least amount of strokes, and that somehow Bonnard did not do that. And it's not like he wasn't capable of that. I mean, if you look at this drawing, I mean, the drawing says it all. I mean, it's got the least amount of marks and it is capturing so much. And yet he did embellish on his paintings. I mean, he worked on paintings over long periods of time, and he didn't feel necessarily the pressure that to prove himself, I think, the way that Picasso might have. It hit me really hard, actually, because I love Picasso, but I also love Bonnard. But I think it had to do with their upbringing. I mean, Picasso was a big alpha Spaniard with that energy, coming from like basically a working class background. His dad was a teacher, for crying out loud. And and Bonnard came from a much more established family and never really had to worry about money, both from his own family but also from his early success. I mean, he had a very early painterly success where he always had dealers and he always was moving pictures. Like, he didn't have to worry about anything except for painting, and keeping his crazy wife from doing crazy things. But
What did she do?
I don't think she did anything. I think she just was. I know she like had kind of, I guess you'd probably call it some kind of mental illness today.
She was always lying down in his paintings of her,
Hypochondriac,
or in the tub and stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's the drama, the drama that really surrounds Bonnard's life, and what probably led to his being somewhat of a recluse, other than all the fact that all of his friends died. But he had an affair, when he was, I guess, in his probably 40s and 50s, and then he was going to marry this other woman and leave, and we actually went to propose, and then I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know what happened.
His first wife got back in the bathtub and he had to call it off.
Yeah, there's some words happened, and so he cut it, and so he cut off the affair, and then his mistress killed herself.
Oh.
And yeah, so it was she fell hard.
Oh.
And then after that, that's got to be, I mean, that's a tough one.
I hope she didn't slit her wrists in the bathtub. That would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. You're laughing.
That would be sick. That would be totally sick. That would definitely.
I know.
That would definitely change the dynamic. Change the dynamic.
But things like that happen in life.
Yes, they do.
I mean, yeah.
No man's worth killing yourself over.
Yay.
Listen, I watch Young and the Restless. These things.
Exactly.
I'm kidding. I don't, but.
Who needs to, right? I mean,
I
That's
know
right.
my life right now is more dramatic.
it's more like the old and the restless now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I don't know how.
Yeah, where would you start on this thing?
Well, that's why the reason the reason I wanted to start with this one. Come on, fit on the page already. The reason I wanted to start with this one, this shadow, is it's like, so I have, and this is the other crazy thing. I have my other setup, and I haven't figured out how to set up the arm yet. So this is my problem. This is not anyone else's problem but my own. Come on, work. All right. So what I don't know if I'm going to be able to do. Maybe I'll just talk about it and then I'll draw it, and it might not be able to be on the screen at the same time, unless I do my phone, which could be the way to go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's always worked really well, because then the shadows don't affect it because it's light, lit from within. But what we'll do, we'll start all of these paintings from, in terms of the drawing. We'll start the drawing from the bottom, and we'll work our way back. And then as we color it, we'll start from the back and work our way forward. And it is just like it's the most beautiful dance in terms of process that I think that not that there is, but in art, it's a really happy and unifying way of of conceiving of your picture. And I've been painting like that for a really long time, and I think it's conventional. Like there's no proof that I know Rembrandt would do skies first and come forward. I know that guy from Schuler, David Good, he starts in the skies and comes forward. He's a really darn good landscape painter. It's a process that works. It's not universally true, but it's pretty good. It's real good. So, and I don't know if I sent the whole photo of the page, and if you look at these sketches, they're really small, which I think is fantastic. They're not quite thumbnails, but this one in particular is 4 inches by 5 inches, and then he cuts off the whole bottom. He cuts off the whole inch on the bottom, so it's really a 4 by 4. It's basically a square. So we can work small on here.
Yay.
And hopefully we can get, and we can get a bunch, and we'll the things that we'll get to explore are, mark making, his variations, shape creation, a balance between inorganic, organic forms, man-made forms versus, organic forms. And then maybe even, we'll get into some, compositional design ideas about unifying angles, see if we can find some coincidences in relationships between objects, and we'll just try to see what's going on in his head a little bit. There is just something that is so enjoyable about going outside and just making a couple marks and engaging your eyes just beneath the surface. Like when you start sketching, you peel back just 1 or 2 layers. It's like, you can go so deep when you think about values, and you think about colors, and you think about paint texture. I mean, you can spend many hours in a space, but if you don't have many hours, which a lot of us don't, you can still peel back a few layers of nature as you're seeing it in this practice of just composing marks on a page and arranging a composition. So let me get the see if I can pull this up on my phone. I just have to change the settings to make sure my phone doesn't time out. I got play a battery. Never. and we'll see how it goes. And if you guys have any, bright ideas, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, we're full of those.
I know you are. It's just the book is so good. I guess I'll just work a little smaller. I can work a little smaller. Oh my Lord.
Wow,
Sorry.
beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
So was there any comment as far as why Rembrandt chose to work with the sky and come forward?
What was that?
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Hi, Trevor.
you must be changing out equipment. So beautiful day today.
Yes, it is.
The sky is shining. I mean, the sun. The sun is shining. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
The sun-
Stephanie, I meant meaning to ask you, are you related
Yeah.
to Barb Shapiro?
No.
No. Okay.
There are a million gazillion Shapiros.
Yeah,
are.
probably, just like there
Yeah.
are millions of Kennedys, yeah.
Yeah.
I worked with the Barb Shapiro,
Uh-huh.
philanthropically, and she's
Uh-huh.
a very generous, lovely lady. So I was going to give you a credit for being related
Oh,
to.
thank you. No, I'm not that generous.
Huh?
I'm not of the generous Shapiros.
I'm related to that side of the family.
Are you?
No.
Oh, boy. Okay.
When I was in
No,
kindergarten,
no.
though, every day I think, anti-Semitic kindergarten teacher would take attendance and she'd say Shapiro, and I'd go, Shapiro. And every single day that happened the whole year, Shapiro, Shapiro. So, and it took me a long time to realize, what that was about.
That's too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister Kay had a real nasty nun that told her name couldn't be Kay because that wasn't a saint's name. It had to be Catherine or
Oh
Catherine.
my God. Oh my
Every day
God.
she'd tell her
Those
that name
nuns.
was invalid, Just,
It's amazing we survived.
it's amazing we survived.
Hmm.
Well, I got beaten up once because I was Jewish.
Really?
Does that
Where-
fit into the?
Stacy, that
Yeah.
you've got me beat. Where were you? Where were you?
And how old were you?
Lockern.
Oh,
And, yeah, someone called me a name and I called him a name.
and
And
it was a
wasn't
guy.
pretty.
And
Yeah.
then he decked you?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
How old were you?
I think I was about 14.
Oh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
And he was also a teenager?
yeah, we were the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
and his
hey.
sister came out and let him know that it was the wrong thing to do.
Good.
Yeah, it was an older sister,
So
and
is
she
he
came
still
to my
alive?
rescue.
Where's this guy now?
Pardon? Interestingly
In
enough,
jail.
many years later, I pulled into a gas station to get gas. He was working there pumping gas.
Oh, wow.
I
Oh.
know. It was so weird.
Full circle. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Karma.
Yes.
Karma.
Karma. I used to believe in karma. I don't know if I believe in it
Yeah,
anymore.
I know.
You gotta believe.
It's convenient to think that it's works, but it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
Totally believe in karma.
What are you doing, Trevor?
Yeah. Trevor, we don't see you.
Well, I mean, I see you, but the
Oh,
sketchy
you don't see the screen share?
black.
Yeah. Let me see
I remember, and his name was Clifton Brown.
Clifton Brown.
Yeah.
Is he still in Maryland?
I don't know. I haven't looked him up.
We need to go TP his house.
Right.
Okay, you're back. Ooh, clematis.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just planted those like 3 years ago and they're about halfway up the trellis now.
Yeah, they're happy. They
They're
like to
very
go.
happy.
This one is going out of control.
Now I can't hear
that's
you.
beautiful.
Turn up your volume.
What was that, Renee?
I couldn't hear Trevor talk. Are you being
What?
funny?
You what?
Hear me now?
Not as, it's a little, you're a little faint.
Um, okay. So I had my candle going, and the arm of the tripod caught on fire.
Oh,
Oh,
Right, it was like right behind here. We're gonna have to check the tape to see if it made it on there.
Can you guys all hear him?
just a little. I mean, not
bar-
as, yeah.
I can barely hear you and I've got my volume turned all the way up.
Okay. Let me see. Check 1, 2. Check.
Yeah.
You still can't, Maureen?
Barely.
Yeah.
Is it the same with you, Stace?
Yeah,
I can hear Stace fine.
Yeah, me too.
I can hear Renee.
Okay, hold on. Maybe just hold tight. I might have to make everybody come back in. Hold on. Hold on. I'm just gonna leave meeting. All right, Grace, I'm gonna make, or Renee, I'm gonna make you the host.
You want me to go out and come back in?
No.
Don't go anywhere, Renee. You're the boss. You're the boss lady.
I never want to be the boss. I just like to be bossy.
Well,
well, we just got a note that you're the boss.
right,
We voted.
that's right. I support you, Renee.
Thank you, darling.
Well, her reign is over now. It's Trevor.
You guys, does it sound better now?
Little.
Now,
Little.
Oh no, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's okay.
it's fine.
you're a little bit better.
We'll muddle through. We'll just say what a lot.
But it is faint. So I just yell.
No.
No,
You're
don't
good
yell.
now.
We
You're
can
good.
hear you. It's just you're a lot lighter than you were.
I wonder if like wax fell on the like the input thing.
But I hear you okay, so it's not, it doesn't seem to be universal.
It's fine. Just muddle through.
Was that a fire alarm that went off?
Yeah. No,
Wow.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
The handle to the tripod
Wow.
caught on fire. I mean, I blew it out. I was just like,
Oh my gosh.
and it was with the plastic. So I took the plastic down. I opened the windows and put the fan on.
Oh my God.
I know. See, karma.
It's not funny,
I
Renee.
don't know what I did. But
That would have been kind of a strange thing to watch. Just,
it was amazing that you guys didn't get to see. That you guys didn't see it. I mean, it was this arm right here.
Oh dear. Well, I heard the noise and then everything went black. We're like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Well, the iPad fell off of the tripod because it was on fire.
I didn't
Because it
smell
was on
anything.
fire.
It was on fire.
Oh God.
Well, I guess
You
that
can't make
is,
this up.
gives new meaning to the term warm up.
yeah.
This lesson is on fire this morning.
This lesson's on fire.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And we're recording.
Oh, people are gonna love it.
Okay. All
There
right,
we
do
go.
dare? Do we dare?
Yeah, that's cool.
We could just draw a nice piece. Let's just draw a nice Bonnard. Pretend none of that ever happened.
Yes. Like what happened? I don't even know what you're referring to.
So this is the thing with colored pencils is that with colored pencils, you don't ever want to mix graphite with colored pencil. I mean, it can be done.
Yeah.
Meaning you can make it look good, but it's so rare. I mean, it's so rare. It's just like, and like colored pencil with colored pencil works because they're wax. They're basically pigment mixed with wax. And metal, excuse me, graphite is an alloy. It's a metal. So it's by itself, it looks great. But then as soon as you add the strength of the pigment, thank you so much. As soon as you add the strength of the pigment of the colored pencil,
Yeah.
visually, it just destroys the graphite.
Right.
It makes it look muddy and just dirty. It feels very smudgy and dirty.
Yeah.
So keep graphite to itself, and then keep colored pencils. Like the thing about it is that usually you want to go to graphite because it's familiar, and it's a darker tone, and it's easily erasable. So if we're working with colored pencils, we can find, an equivalent to that. What's this one? Yeah, it's like this one is called warm gray. I think I'm going to start my sketch with warm gray. Not that we'll even color these in full blown. I mean, maybe we won't, color these. We'll just try and walk our way back from start to finish. So at the bottom of the picture, and it seems like there's a ridge here, and maybe we could call it a hedge. And then I'm wondering even if the very bottom of the picture, if that is actually road, because to get to these places, you don't have to. We're above looking down at this valley. It's a valley. So let's do that ridge. Oh boy.
Would you use a warm gray or a cool gray?
Well, I was saying how the I mean, in the picture it's a cool gray, and I guess graphite, depending on I don't know which direction graphite leans. I mean, if I think of graphite, I think it's warm, and then in another context, lead. I think lead pencil. I think is actually a little bit cooler. But I don't know that. I've never really used a lead pencil.
Basically, Trevor, you're asking us to sketch this in colored pencil, the whole thing.
I think it'll be more fun.
Okay.
I think it'll be more fun.
That's fine.
And we're like that's the spirit of the day.
Okay.
So we might as well just get it going. And as using this gray, Adele, this was a warm gray. It takes on a road feel to me. And then what if we did a the hedge? I'm just going to call it a hedge. And I'm separating the hedge from. So I'm combining both color and mark making. And he looks like these little waves. Holy crap. Sorry, I was going to say.
Could it be a little river?
What if it is a stream? I mean, I've just perceived this, as I don't know. I feel like if it was a stream, he would have directions running long ways, not sideways, but not necessarily. And I don't think the stream would be up this high. Like, the houses wouldn't be below it.
I think it's a hedge.
Yeah, I think it's a hedge. And I was telling the girls in my, the elementary school girls, when we were making, we were doing landscape drawings with colored pencils yesterday. If you can combine, two greens are, if you know an object is a particular color, if you use if it's a blue object, use two types of blues. If it's a green object, use two types of greens. If it's red, use two types of reds, or even use a red and an orange. So it just makes it a little, and then you could have a light value and a dark value. My hedge right here, I don't even know if these greens clash a little bit because my first pen it was called peacock green, but it doesn't matter. It's a blue green, a neutral blue green. And then I came in with a high intensity yellow green on top. Who knows if that's going to work, but looks like there's a second row of hedges. And because of the nature of the mark making, it's like a similar body, a similar entity. So I'm going to use the same code. So I've got my top of the ridge, and then my little hedge waves squiggling at this angle. It's kind of like a 45-degree angle to the side. And then behind those, we have two more bushes. Ooh, this is fun. Okay, so but before we get to the architecture, the next row as we go back, I guess the second bush here that's an echo of our first one is just smaller. Technically, this big tree on the side, I see that as like see the big triangle of this tree up here with these dark, those dark, the pit there, the insides of the tree. It's almost like you're looking into the deep shadows between branches in these speckles. And before I get to the third round of shrubs, I'm going to put this big tree in here because it's connected to our first row. So that makes sense. So if we're going to march from the front and go back, that should be the next move. Ooh, what color? It's called kelp green.
Okay, so here's the question. Would you go from more saturated colors in the foreground to less so in the back?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you would think you could go. So the idea generally is that the objects that get further away get less intense and get cooler. So the greens would you start with higher intensity greens and then get more neutral and get bluer as they go back. You have to look at some of Bonnard's color, but I have a feeling he broke a lot of those rules. Where's my kelp? That's in my hand. That's not.
So are we coloring as we go and smudging, or?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said before is that we would draw it and then color it from the back to the front. And then I just totally broke that.
Well, it's easier to identify things, but do we smudge the color or leave it as such?
I don't have much luck smudging color as I do graphite.
Pastels are the color smudger. Oil painting, you smudge them all together by mixing. Pastels, you can like make a mark and you can blend it right on the page. You blend it with your finger, and that's the convention. Color pencils don't go quite as well. They just don't blend that very much because it's wax. So they kind of get down and they're sticky and icky and they just like kind of stay put. Now, that being said, you can use topical layers to blend those colors. So this one with my tree on the side, I put in some dark notes, and then I'm gonna instead of switching colors, I'm just gonna fill in that tree with a lighter. I'm almost tinting it by allowing the paper to show through. I made that tree a little bit too big. Bummer. I'm having a difficult time seeing the left side, but so I'm going to kind of go for easy answers first.
There's like three triangles in that foreground above the hedge. There's that first cluster of houses, then there's that tree thing that rises from the hedge, and then there's the tree on the far right. They kind of divvy it all up.
Yes. So if we were to think about zones, the hedge obviously is the first zone. I'd say both two, a best, I guess I'd say the tree and the low hedges and the tree are zone 1. All of these foliage in the foreground. Then I would say zone 2 would be, the house, the big tree, and then some of the smaller houses that are still close enough that you get structure. So I'd say that's zone 2. And then zone 3 would be the distant houses where you don't have much structure, but you have, rectangles, tick marks that look like rooftops. And, those houses kind of bring you into the low hills. And I would argue that the low hills would be a next zone, a separate zone. Looks like there's some trees. And then you get the mountain range and then the sky. So shrubs in the foreground, an introduction to large houses, house, tree, smaller house. That's zone 2. Housing going off in the distance, zone 3. Low hills before you get to the mountain, zone 4. And then mountains themselves, zone 5. Sky, zone 6. I think that's generally the structure. And if you want to separate them in other ways, like however it's clarified in your mind. And there's so much yellow in nature, and Bonnard, I know, would use so many yellows where you wouldn't even expect him.
Excuse me, Trevor.
Yes, Dave.
I was wondering why you weren't recognizing my question. I was on mute.
I
know that Grace
I wasn't
asked-
boycotting you.
Yeah.
What's that?
So he said. So Grace asked this question. I didn't hear the answer, but I can see the answer. You are not outlining in a darker color. You are drawing in color without outlining, but you did outline the foreground.
I mean, the only marks that we have to work on, it looks as though, are like outline marks. So there's no real tone. And with Impressionism, the light and it's less about light and shade. It's not that there isn't light and shade. I mean, especially if you look under when we get into the house. So I guess outlining is an interesting term.
You see, I
perceive, if we talk through it, like there's this roof wedge.
Yeah.
That would be an outline, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a little square chimney on the top.
Okay. I was thinking, because you outlined the first 3 areas in a gray, that you would continue to outline in gray, but I see what's happening. I get it.
I mean, I totally let this thing go crazy. I did not have a plan.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a plan, but then I abandoned it. My plan was to draw it in a warm gray, get everything down, and then color it from front to back. And then I just got so excited by the hedge that all bets were off.
You lost control, or you gained control.
Great.
Oh, interesting.
You solved the problem.
So, it is interesting to just have, when you think about an object, just declaring it a color with the outline and then filling it in with with like a tinted version, or just doing what you think looks good.
Yeah.
there's a seemingly a darker value hedge that is right behind our, around the corner of our house. And then there's that palm tree, which looks so good. I don't know what color it is. I'm envisioning a yellow green, but maybe this one. I'm seeing this as like a palm tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a little texture along here. Oh, what are those? Oh, those are houses too. So I think I might switch over to red because I don't know why the red. I like the idea of a red house, like a brick or something.
Stucco.
Yeah.
Is the yellow that you've drawn a walkway or is it another shrub?
The yellow that I have with the yellow, the green, I have that as being a shrub.
Yeah. Me
A
too.
shrub. Okay. Got it.
And then I have this little code that I have for the house, which is, a red house with a orange roof. And then there's something in front of that. What do you think that is? It looks like a little shed or a barn or something. A little cube. I mean, I cubed it out. It doesn't look like it's cubed out. And then he's got a little tree behind that guy too.
Oh, so
So instead of kind of blindly making marks because you see them, when you're forced to choose a color, it makes you have to do it. It makes you have to declare what the entity is. I wonder where Cannet is. Cannet. Are those the Alps? The French Alps?
And I think it's probably south. Looks kind of tropical.
yeah, with the palm.
One of the other pictures says Cannes with an S.
Oh,
Mhm.
Maybe
Con.
this is a typo.
Could be. Oh my gosh. Oh my. The piece. Oh yeah. All right. So maybe this might be easier than it looks. I'll do my base and my sides. With red. And then I'll do my tops with orange.
Trevor, this is a warm up or this is not a warm up?
This is a warm up.
It is a
Well,
warm up.
it's only 10:30. It's only 10:30. So I feel like this could take us to like 10:45. And then
Okay.
and then instead of then we can talk about some of the other pieces. And then we'll switch over to the main lesson, which I think it'll actually work a little bit better because of its orientation. It should be the last one I sent. So I guess some of the picture I tried to send all the pictures at once and I guess they got bounced back.
There's no way I couldn't print them. They were too big.
Let gonna do more yellow. I might even use some orange in these trees. Oh, that's nice. Oh god. I wonder if there's a soft blue-green. Maybe I'll use one of these guys. Is this blue-green for the grass that's around? I'm just gonna say that there's grass in these
It's a
low
nice
hills.
color.
That's
So
cool.
he really liked yellow, eh?
I think so. I mean, I think he liked all, I mean, he was a color guy. He really was a color guy. And that's the nice thing when you're like it's kind of super duper rich, like you can afford really, really, really good color. Especially at this time. I'm gonna do some low hills. I'm looking at really separating. It's almost like the horizon line. You can imagine that, the ground plane meets, if the mountains weren't there, so it was, you'd have if there was instead of mountains, there was ocean. So it's kind of like the edge of the lowland before the mountaintops. And there's some nice layering there. So I switched over to a neutral brown. It's just called dark brown. And I don't know if, do you think this could, I don't know what this is over here. There's some spirals, some like more layers. And I was thinking maybe it could be a chimney because why not? But I don't think it is. So now I've got my dark hill edges, and then I needed some color of those low hills. So I chose a little bit of a lighter tone. This is called rosy beige. Thanks for nothing. I guess it's beige is the funniest color. It's like the most nondescript. Rosy, I can see it leans towards, it's like basically the same exact color as my skin. Okay, it turns out my skin is rosy beige. Look at that. Oh, wonderful. I've always wondered that. Now there's the big decision. What to do with the mountain. Do you make it gray? Do you make it black? Black lines? Do you make it green, like a forest green?
What would Bernard do?
WWBD. What would Bernard do?
Well, if this was South of France,
I also don't want to cheat either, because I think a lot of these sketches did get turned into paintings. So in theory, we could use a cheat sheet, but I'm really resisting, and especially for the last piece, the sketch of the piece we'll do after this one. I think his final painting actually. I might have it. I have this book of artists' last paintings.
if this is south of France, the far mountains would be sort of olive green to brown.
I like that. I have a moss green that might do the trick, and then I think I actually picked out an olive green. You don't want to get too caught up in these labels because they're just not helpful. There's all these. We could actually talk about that. The right language of color. And color is all relative. So, there's that famous Degas painting where he's basically using black and white, like grays, on a high intensity green surface. And he's doing it to explain the concept of simultaneous contrast in color. And what he's saying is that if he has a warm neutral, he can make that warm neutral look like bright red flesh by maximizing the contrast between the warm and the cool. And so if red, green is the complementary opposite of the red, then if you want a very neutral red to show up, the way that you maximize its potential is by putting it up against the greenest green that you can find. And so as that green gets greener, that neutral red appears to be redder. If you put that same neutral gray on a pink background, it will, it'll look blue. And he experimented with that as well. In fact, it's right here on the cover of this book.
Oh.
So he used basically a very subtle brown, but then putting that warm neutral up against a high intensity blue background, it pushes the very basic warm into feeling brighter and redder than it actually is. This is just like the cover of the book, and you can actually, you can really see the effects right there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my olive. It's not actually olive green, but I love these parallel lines, and they really, greatly echo the direction of the roof as well. That would be a coincidence. A little distant hill there, distant mountain. And it's funny because he's working on the premise that it's like dark. When you draw clouds, you can't help but draw the outside of the clouds, and sometimes you even fill them in because they're objects. So you inherently want to draw objects, but with when you're actually drawing clouds on white sheets of paper, the clouds are the light part. So the clouds are the ones that are the part that you protect for the, and you shade everything else around that. I'm kind of flipping the script here for. I don't think he would mind. I wonder if these are. I'm just imagining. I'm wondering if these are. What guilt? I've never guilt has to have an impact on your painting. You're experiencing it. I mean, it has an impact on your life if you can't forgive, or you can't forgive yourself, or whatever your thinking is. But it's got to. I mean, I've never considered guilt as a theme running through an artist's work. And with Bonnard, it's hard to put your finger on what makes his pictures so different and bizarre. And that might be a factor. The reclusiveness. Ooh, that's nice. What is that? Might be too blue. I found this slate gray, and I think I need it to be green. I want a brighter green. Please be olive. Okay, this is a lemon peel.
Oh, that's a great color.
Let's do it.
Sorry, I love my Prismacolors. Lime peel is
Lime peel, not lemon peel. Sorry.
lime peel.
It really is. Ooh, look at that go.
And chartreuse is also a nice one.
Yeah. I didn't know what chartreuse was for the longest time. There was a florist, a flower store, and a home goods store that was right near our house in Philadelphia. It was called chartreuse. And I would walk by, I'm like, what a wonderful word. I wonder what that means. I wonder if I'll ever learn what that means.
It is a beautiful word.
Is it French?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like vermilion. What is vermilion?
Vermilion is just one of the greatest color. Vermilion was the highest intensity warm color for a very long time. Before cadmium red came along, there was vermilion.
So I have Conte pencils, and they don't have names, they have numbers, but I think they're chalky because they're very easy to blend and very nice.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, those are chalk pastels. Which is very different than colored pencils. Now it is a pencil and it has color, and that's there's so many terms that just are not good in art and are not helpful and not descriptive. And that's, clearly one of them. So yeah, and just pencil in general is annoying. That's why everybody thinks that you can use graphite pencils with color pencils, because it's a pencil. So why wouldn't you be able to use them?
Right.
I'm gonna use this bright orange. I don't even care. What's this one called? Oh, this is salmon pink. And there is, when you have drawing ability, and you can kind of stress less about the actual proportions and placement and mark making, and once you have those things somewhat tamed, it never really you're always at risk. I mean, it's never like it's fully there, but you get there enough, and then enough so that you can then think about colors. And colors are they're so fun to think, let your mind play with. I think that's what I love about having Bonnard with these drawings that are not that difficult, very simple. He doesn't give you a whole lot of information, so that you can kind of ease up on the stress of the drawing and allow yourself to move into the pleasure and challenge of, making color arrangements. And the real practice, honestly, the real practice of this would be if we drew it again with a whole different set of colors. Just to take one and then take two, maybe keep some of them and push them differently. It's almost like it would be the same design in a different octave, the same tune in another octave. I think that would work.
That would be really cool. I think it would be really interesting.
Knowing what we know now.
Yeah. We had our first cicada.
Oh,
It was a beaut. All right, so maybe in the next, we will take this to 10:45, so we'll have a little less than 10 minutes. I think I'm just gonna keep. I wish I had tracked my colors a little better. Having a lot of colors is a blessing. It can also be a curse. It's harder to achieve, you more variety, more choice, but it can also get very confusing. But the nice thing about color pencils is that they don't really blend that well, so you're not going to get mud, as it were. So it's
Whoa, so I
The
guess
color-
I'm getting muddy here.
the colors remain truer. Yes, yeah. If you over mix, then they just become, it just becomes more neutral, and the colors become less clarified. Now, if you want an impressionist style picture with bright, bold, high intensity colors, that's would work against you. But with if you're working on just value constructs and low color, it's not, it can be done well. It's just it's a matter whether just a matter whether you're in control or not. Sunny and Caroline. Oh, that must be Mal. Tucker, good boy.
I forgot to change the names.
That's okay. Welcome. We're just finishing this one up, and we're about to start another one. So you came kind of at a good time. We were taking these Bonnard drawings that were, on the simpler side of design concepts, and just focusing on interesting colors.
Oh, it's Mal. Hi, Mal.
I feel like this needs a darker blue. Yeah, and Adele, you can tell me or what you think. I found that you can layer maybe three layers of different colors, and they work. And then after that, there's so much wax on the paper that it just the paper won't accept any more colors.
yeah, you get sort of muddy at that point.
Super smooth. Oh yeah, I'm going back to my gray. My warm gray. I'll tell you what, I don't really want to touch anything behind this yellow and blue green bush in front of my purple house. I think it's like the only part of my painting that works. Some of these turquoises. I love these turquoises. My friends came back from the Dominican Republic. They were on vacation for, I don't know, 6 days, 7 days. And they brought me back some Larimar stone.
What's that?
It's a turquoise. It's a turquoise stone that, if you can imagine, like, tropical beach water,
Mhm.
like the same color.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Beautiful.
if this were a stone,
Mm,
that's what
wow.
the color is.
Amazing.
Like this,
Oh my
this,
goodness.
this
That's
blue
gorgeous.
on the edge of the water, and it's
Wow.
flanked by like like a light white stone, and then
Wow.
some other darks. I love this photo.
Yeah, I would love to be there.
I mean, I think these colors are doing the trick. I mean, if you look at the world, I mean, I'd rather be in this colored world than in the black and white one. This is using a little artistic liberty.
It's toilet paper roll.
This one.
Yeah.
We'll leave it down here.
Okay.
Such a pretty green.
Hmm.
Is this the one? I think it is, yeah. Like this yellow glaze over things. Just brings up all of the, makes it feel so much sunnier. I'm gonna add a little more purple to my house over here. Do a little teeny shadow to my rooftop, or the chimney rather. Oh, that's where I'll take some of my advice. I'll add another blue to the sky. Okay, that was our first attempt. That's pretty good. I think there's something about this, my lowlands. Like, I feel like I've got nice resolution in the house and in the shrubs. I got layers. There's something, and the mountain even feels good to me. A couple different colors in there. The sky's good. It's that I don't know what's going on there. Maybe. Oh, maybe there's really distant houses. Yes. Okay. Maybe. There's little teeny homes back there. Way off. I'm doing some crazy blue-green. Blue-green stunner. This is the answer. Yikes. So it got a little muddy up there. Is that right?
Where?
At the base of the mountain right here.
Uh,
I got this kind of clash. It's not so bad because it's neutralized, but so there's like a little too much going on. Maybe it's okay. Put the whole thing in a gold frame. That might be a mistake. That's still a pretty golden column. That's pretty. I don't care. I love it. There are a couple of interesting in that video, Maureen. I think you saw that where there's a he would do a lot of pictures in mirrors, and he'd include like the edge of the mirror in the silhouette. And that one where he was still in Paris, he was a young man where he was, and it was like a nude self-portrait, and his wife in the bed. And there was that screen in front of them, like an obelisk, and anyway, that whole series of pictures, he would almost frame his own piece with, a painting of a frame in another. I guess what I'm saying is like this little edge here and the is very Bonnard. It actually is very Bonnard, which that's why I don't feel that bad, and it works. I couldn't really resolve that far side, but it's doing it now. All right. You guys want to try the next one? That one's going to be a little bit more abstract, which I think will be fun.
Trevor,
Yes, Dace.
can we have a 2-minute warning?
Okay.
I beg of you.
Yeah, no problem. There's always more fun to be had. Yeah, and it does force you to go into go into the unknown, because we really don't. I mean, he doesn't give us a whole lot of info, so you got to make it up yourself, and that's what he wanted. He wanted the memory and the feeling, and that's what he put into the paintings. But they were based off these instances. that you saw. I like his signature down here, or the stamp at least. That monogram.
Yes.
Pierre
I
Bonnard.
noticed that right away. I like that as well.
Monograms are ancient. Well, not ancient, but medieval.
Trevor, can we see the reference again, please? Thank you.
You're welcome. Little gaps. I like those little gaps in there. Fill these in. Well, that's a party. That was a good hour. Well spent. That was a well spent hour. Sorry it took us so long to get ready.
Would anyone care to share?
Yeah. How about you, Stace? Can we see?
Okay. Yeah, my big mouth, right?
All right, let's see. I'm gonna stop the show. Okay.
I have a way to go.
1 second, Stacy.
Wow, yours looks way better than his.
Could you hold it up? I just pinned it. I think I wasn't able
Yeah.
to.
Oh, nice.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
What about you, Mal? Did you finish already?
Started.
You're on mute, but I can't hear you.
I'm waiting for the next round
Okay.
because we haven't started the new one.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Mine looks like a 4-year-old drew it.
Well, I think people probably said that about Bernard's work too. Let's see.
Cool. Cool.
That's so fun.
Oh, really?
Go back.
Yeah.
Let me soak into it.
Yeah.
Rini,
Yes.
one more time, if you don't mind.
I don't want you to take a picture
Please.
of this, Stacy. See, I could pass this off as my granddaughter drew it.
I don't think so. That's great.
I'm sure she's very talented.
Yeah, I like that
This
very
is
much.
my kind of sketching, though. I would have liked to have done it just in pencil.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I mean, that's like the horse, that I like all one color. Ooh, good, Grace.
Oh, let's see.
Oh,
Great.
Pretty.
Nice.
Please.
Oh, Grace.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
Yeah,
So
that
nice.
I feel like that could go on a label for like I don't know. I'm feeling like a pasta sauce or something.
I was thinking like a wine label.
Yeah, wine label.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Stephanie, you want to go?
Okay.
Lace pin.
Ooh,
Ah.
nice. Cool.
Thanks.
Oh my.
They're strong lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I couldn't do. That strong lines is what he's all about.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
okay,
great
Yeah.
strong lines.
So I think
Yeah.
we guys, I think we're gonna be really well set up for this next one. Like really well. Adele, can we see
We didn't
yours?
see Adele's yet.
Adele.
Oh, nice.
Pretty. That's very
Yeah.
I like
That looks
like
like
the,
Yeah.
a
Love
watercolor.
that.
I like how the mountains sort of look like clouds.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
very cool. Nice blend.
Yes.
good tone. It's good. It's fantastic. Yeah, I love the light and shade with the
Yeah.
greens and
Yeah.
the trees.
It looks like you were able
Got
to.
much more structure.
It's nice.
Oh man.
Yes, that's beautiful.
I tried to work with one direction
Mhm.
of color and not to go in all directions to keep that
Keep that
Mhm.
flow.
angular.
And it was your natural direction, right? It was your natural 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Live in that world. That's easy.
Hmm.
Screen share. All right. So I know we're not going to be able to do all of them, but I just wanted to say a few things because all these pictures are so awesome. And I was really touched and moved and thought of really good lessons to be had by all of them. So I just want to start. I just want to point some out.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
I love this one too. It's really vigorous.
Yeah.
It's got this really
Wow.
calming breath. In the water. With the pond. The reflections, a really nice foreground. This tree frames it off so nicely. And then this reminds me of the Mondrian. Remember we did the Mondrian tree with all of the, it's much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the arches with the tree.
Mhm.
And it was like on that center axis. This is kind of like more of an impressionist version. There was very excited mark making. So a lot of energy to this one. And then I thought this would be really fun to do the path and all of this tall grass along here.
Yeah, I love the
And it kind of
leaves, the grass.
wraps around.
Love this one. This is my
Nice
favorite.
layering. You have like this rocker tree in front of this rocker tree, in front of that, in front of that, in front of that. So it kind of like brings you along the depth of that side. And then there's then there's the layering of the cravat, the jagged cliffs on the other side. And then, the two little figures in the boat, kind of like, cliche, but romantic and, wonderful. Interesting. It'd be interesting to get like color layers, in this excited row of tall grass.
Trevor, what are the triangles in the top left
I don't know.
region?
Yeah, that was the other kind of mystery. I mean, it could be a big pine tree.
I think it looks like pine trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it could be, but they would have to be gigantic, like pine trees on
Kind
steroids.
of on top of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and the figures are really quite big. I mean, this is like a little pond. It's not like that expansive of a. You eliminate those figures, and the place could take on a much more different scale. So I think that's why he needed to have the figures in there. This one is, I think, sort of a showstopper. It's like classic Bonnard, early Bonnard. Has like a lot of his. It's a Paris scene, and it feels like Paris. And it was like really moving into the 21st century Cubism. He was employing elements of Cezanne. He's employing certain he's just it's very original. And I love that there's figure compositions, and I love that there's bird compositions, and I love that there's this S curve of the fence and the S curve of the path. And this long diagonal that runs up, in the Baroque diagonal, where he's got some fun with trees. I mean, he's got beautiful tree variations, and I think there's even trees that are close to us. Again, like it's like he doesn't care about draftsmanship in a traditional sense. He's really broken away from that, and he's looking for. You have to realize that you have this whole rectangle. It's a whole big canvas that has to be covered with beautiful paint. And paint, you got to paint the path, you got to paint the fence, you got to paint the trees, you got to paint the grass around the tree. I mean, there's you know, you're just carving out jobs for yourself. And these are all nice jobs. They're all good jobs. You know, it's like being able to, you know, mow the lawn and do the trim without having to power hose. You know, it's like you get to choose what jobs you like to do. All right. This one reminded me of pieces that we've done in the past, and it's really a kind of an essay in mark making and in depth. I can't remember I think it was a Ferdinand Holdler, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So these waves, you know, the marks getting, you know, having a light side, shadow side, you know, the marks, you know, working along the horizontal, and having the marks be in the same family for the whole width of the picture. And then the light value on the edge of the trees with the specks.
I'm thinking of this one.
A lot of beautiful atmosphere.
Wow.
Yes, thank you, Maureen. It was the Holdler.
Yeah.
So it evokes a little bit of that. And, you know, it's a lot of ideas that we've done before, not quintessential Bonnard. So I knew we weren't really going to do this one, although it would be, in some worlds, it would be the right lesson, not for today. So yeah, to be able to see the work of this man and then see him delve into these realms, the guy's got a very, 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 very good art mind, very well trained. And this is the one that we did, of course, which is very nice. We learned all about that. This felt more like a coloring book to me than any one of them. You know, you could almost see him thinking in terms of, you know, sectioning out spaces to color in a very kind of traditional atmosphere. So this is the one that I'm, you know, kind of most excited about. This was his ultimate painting. Is the final piece, you know, the final piece, and this
That's
does
great.
exist as a painting, and I think it's there for us to decipher and you know, impart our own you know, our own color schemes. So, and we can talk about it, like if everybody just wants to, like, you know, weigh in, and we'll find more as we go. But there, you know, there's clearly, you know, a tree that is, you know, central, and then the tree is you know, against, I think, a sky. So the tree is close to us, you know, starts at the bottom, and it, you know, works its way through. I mean, I don't know if this is a cube. You see this kind of cube here? It almost feels like you know, this is one side of the cube. This is another side of the cube. Maybe it's not a cube. Maybe it's a pyramid. That's what it is. Okay, cool. So this is one side of the pyramid, goes to the top. This is the other side of the pyramid. This is the other side of the pyramid. So it's a four-sided pyramid with the top sliced off. And the tree is emerging out of the middle of that. Very powerful diagonal, which I would assume is mountain ranges. Diagonal here, and another diagonal here. That is not necessarily a good sign. Whenever you have that V shape, you know, that angle down and up, it's you know, associated with kind of like acts of God, like you know, lightning strikes and tragedy, and you know, that form, that wedge shape that comes down. It's echoed by this corner, so it's strengthened here, and then it's picked up again in this main branch.
It looks sort of like an hourglass, the way he did that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So yeah, this would be the base of the hourglass, and this would be the top V.
Yeah.
And the tree is like the
Maybe
sand
we echo
pouring
one
down.
another.
Love that. I love, so when, you know, when you think about trees growing up and the movement of the water going up, you know, which no one has explained to me how trees get water through to the tops of their leaves. I want that explanation someday. But that's the movement of it. But then again, you know, the hourglass of time, you know, this epic angle brings us down. So I like the idea that it's, you know, this, and then look at the tree branches up here. Look how blocky it is. You know, it feels very cubical up here. So you have the side of the tree, you got the side, and then you got this broad top. It looks like a like like a sandwich, like a piece of bread.
And I feel like the leaves bring my eye down to the rest of the composition.
Mhm.
Wow. All right, so let me do a little, what I would consider, like, this is like a zoning thumbnail, and maybe we'll do this, maybe I'll sketch this one in pencil and then come back and do it on a larger scale.
Is it some kind of a weeping tree thing?
Weeping willow?
Weeping something, but it's awfully, it's a bit of a sickly weeping willow.
Yeah.
So it says that it's leading up to the final painting, which is the almond tree blossom. So that's the
Oh,
last
right.
paint. So this is the study for, oh, you can't see it, sorry.
So are they mountains
This
flanking
is
the tree?
Amadir and Fleur, so the almond flower.
Amandier is
Wow.
almond. That's an
Yeah.
almond tree.
Also
Amandier.
almond blossom, rather, sorry.
It's a
Almond
garden.
tree in blossom.
In
Blossoming
bloom.
almond tree. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
says it right there in English. I don't know why I had to do that.
Impressive.
Trevor.
Says it right there. What?
I see to the left, the two darkest, the dark notes being trees. Are the backgrounds on each side mountains? With
That's how
another
I see
tree
it.
on the far right?
That's how I see it.
Okay.
So
Would it be-
I'm gonna do the teeniest version, and we can talk about what it might be, but I just want to like lay out the structure as I'm seeing it. So this is our baseline pyramid. And then out of this comes the tree. And then we can follow those twists and turns. And then the next form that I'm seeing is I'm calling it the piece of toast, but this is the structure. And you get the top of the picture here. So the tree branches in this form is this angled wedge linking up to this. And there is like there's almost like little peaks on either side, but I'm not gonna like push that.
We're using color?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use color. I'm just trying to plan out what my picture is gonna, what I need to, all the elements that I need to design. So here's my rectangle. Let me slide. I guess I can zoom out a little bit so I don't hurt anybody.
I'm sorry, could you show me where those rectangles are on the actual drawing?
Yes. So this prism here, or pyramid, is this. So the middle, so you follow the middle, this is this edge here. And then it goes
Oh,
up this plane. And then it comes up this plane up here. And then you have the top plane of it. And then out of that center grows our trees. And then you go up to the top up here, and these marks are almost make this rounded block. So you can see the top plane here and here and here. Maybe that's, if you see it a different way, that's fine. I mean, I could be wrong. There is a cheese wedge shape on this corner. So there's a front plane and then a top plane here. And then before I forget, there's this huge background divider that runs like this. And then this is, a very excited, very almost, I see it very two-dimensional because I can't make out any structural elements. And usually when you have such commanding forms, presenting, the main event, that you do need a background. So I'm seeing this as a plane, a side plane in this corner. And then I think our pyramid might be a little bit larger. I just didn't want to before I couldn't have it, and it was going to run off the page. And then, you know, there's this little dark flame element in this corner, gray background. And then, you know, we have these trees, you know, coming from off screen, framing out the whole left side of the picture. So this line that I put in here for this angled wedge is obviously too dark, but it does separate, you know, the gray, what I think we were calling mountains, from sky. And I'm happy with calling them mountains, like very happy.
So what about the concept of typically not putting anything dead center?
Yeah,
it's just there are always exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who made up that rule, because it's not a good rule.
Got it.
And I mean, and honestly, it's psychologically damaging, because your instinct makes you want to put things direct center. And when someone tells you you can't do that, you're already off a wavelength. I mean, I can show you thousands of drawings and paintings where the objects are dead center, you know, and you have the principal dancer is dead center. You know, if you're not going to put your principal dancer off stage right, but there's going to be activities that she does all over the stage. But at the end, who's front and center receiving the applause and all of the flowers being thrown? It's dead center. So yeah, it's not like everything else isn't interesting. I mean, it has to be interesting, but there's no rule. There's no rules.
Maybe it's a Japanese concept of not putting something in the middle.
So is there a final painting of this?
That's what I was looking for.
I also see.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's by the same title, and that's what I didn't want to. I didn't want to look at it before we colored it. Like, I didn't want to cheat.
Yeah.
I want to see. I feel like I'll appreciate his so much more, you know, having decoded this drawing. And for those of you that did not enjoy the color pencil exercise, do it in pencil. Look at the line weight hierarchy. It's fantastic. You know, the main cluster, our main cluster of pyramidal foliage is overwhelmingly light against a dark background. So it's got a gray background. Not that it doesn't have darks in it. Not that it doesn't have you know, some like lots of beautiful textures and mark making and edges. But this is the area of highest contrast. It's zone 1, darkest marks, most excited, against the lightest light. And then you follow the tree up all the way to the top, and now you have a dark set of branches, not fully dark, but it's a dark piece of bread, rectangular bread, up against the light of the sky. So the base is a light against dark, and you go up, follow the trees, and you get dark against light. That's so masterful. The backdrop is the sky and the mountains. The sky and the mountains are divided by an aggressive angle, right angle, that leads you right to the heart of the tree. And the sky is light, and the background is a neutral tone. That neutral tone is probably a little much, and so he gives us, you know, one frame closer, you know, one you know, stage set frame closer to take care of this corner. And even though this is probably the darkest, strongest marks, they're off to the side and they're up against this gray, so the contrast is lower. So it's the dark, but it's up against another very dark element, which is this mid-tone neutral gray. This left side is kind of smoothed out, very clear, cohesive, understandable, and divided and organic. The right side is very chaotic. Lots of scribble, lots of excitement, clusters of darks. The darks clusters on the right don't go as dark as these deepest notes in the foliage on the left. So you have a more excited mark making, but a closer range of value. More controlled mark making, organic, higher contrast. It's tuffed off to the side. Both the base of the pyramid is what gives us these corner rectangles, and he gives us distinctly different mark making in the left side and the right side. Here it almost feels like a almost like lettering somehow, or like there's like kind of like jagged chunky logs or something, and then here I feel like there's more of a softer plane. You can copy them mark for mark, but those are the divisions. You have the main light base up against the dark gray background, then you have the branches that lead you up to the dark tree cluster at the top against the light sky. And the mark making up above and the mark making below, very different. And should be really interesting to explore. And the next level is being able to do that mark those off with color. Oh man, we're so lucky that there's lattes. Imagine a world without lattes.
I agree.
I don't want to. I take that back. Don't do it. Oh man, this is gonna be the best 45 minutes of my day. No, maybe not. That was the worst sound ever. Mal, did you get the email? Mal's on mute.
Yes, I did. I got it like 4 times.
Okay, good. All right, party people. Something about that turf. There are a couple of turquoises that I just couldn't get enough of. This one. This one. It really is nice having the center of the picture. So in my mind's eye, I'm seeing the base of this pyramid.
Thank you.
And I'm going to switch colors because for some reason towards the back, the back plane, it seems to go down and then up in the corner and then back down and then up in this corner. Some like excited cluster over here. Maybe that should be blue. Maybe it shouldn't. We'll be okay either way. So I might be a little cliche about the color of the branches, but I think I'm okay with it. So we'll do the tree trunk, and the tree trunk, once it gets to right about the top of the pyramid, top of the back of the pyramid, that high point, it splits, and I think it splits into thirds. There's one that juts out to the right. There's one that curves, from the left towards the center, like a woven, like it's like they're all woven together. And the one that seems like it's going up to the right, and then it cuts over hard, and this becomes like a smoke element that leads. That one leads us all the way up to where our branches are going to be. This one curls up, and then it's up, and then also brings us way up to the top of the picture. Very smoky, very lovely. Our main branch that had the dark, the dark highlight, that hits a crossover as well. A hard left turn. That's going to bring us up here. So I'm going to switch over to some fancy greens, and then hopefully I can let that green help define, and hopefully it fits on the paper. I'm trying to get these. These will be the lighter marks. So maybe I'll come back in with some darker marks and really clarify. I like that it's like not much of a commitment. I'm just picking up the nature of the foliage. And it is a smaller mass, and maybe I went a little bit. It looks like there's too much distance in between my pyramid and my cluster of trees at the top. But I don't think that there is. I think I'm gonna do a gray, or maybe this violet. This violet where it dips down and climbs up this left side. So I found the top of my rectangle, and so I just put in my light green, my non-committal light green, and I haven't even put in the bottom, but maybe I'll use my familiar turquoise for the bottom. So I'm kind of committed to the top and the bottom, because this is where the base of the pyramid exists, and then I follow the tree all the way up, and then I get these clusters of green at the top. And I know where that edge is. So now I'm really trying to get to the side. And I'm trying to start from the known and move into the unknown. So where the known is where these tree branches that were connecting at the trunk split, because that's the intersection of the background. And this like light purple is also kind of non-committal. Because I could come over with a much darker line and lay that in there, some blues, whatever they might be. And then I can see that it's going to meet the edge on the right side. Cool. And now, I don't know if you guys can see it. Steph, I don't know if you can see it, but my goodness, that hourglass shape is, when I look at my drawing on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes me feel good. Any of those associations that were comforting. It's also a vignette. It looks as though, if you look over here, there's a little curve right here on the right side of this cluster. And if you follow that, it's like you have like one cluster here, which is an enclosure, and then another one. So this right side does come over and connect. And he does that with his eraser. Let me just show you the original. I know it's hard to see if the original's not there, but look at the, stop moving around. All right, so then I love this one seemingly coming across, and then this one dips down. So it really feels like there is our branches up here are framed. It's like framed, but it's immediately against the sky, but it's kind of framed with the foliage on the side. It's really, it's cool. So there's just this interaction of what's going on above with what's going on below, and the flipping of those values. And maybe he flips the colors. By solving the themes in the values, and then us decoding it here will allow us to really understand the thinking of his color. When we get there, when we actually we actually unveil his final painting. The final painting, not his final, I think the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh has the painting that he made, the last painting of his wife. She died, I think, 2 or 3 years before he did. And he worked on the painting while she was alive. And then he worked on it for years after she died, which is so beautiful and tragic at the same time. You know, probably his most opulent and ornate, you know, painting. When you think about like richness of color and paint becoming on the level of like a gemstone, you know, where, you know, value on a it goes beyond nature, that like alchemy. That painting has it. It's her in a bathtub. But to work on that subject post her passing, it just takes on more meaning in my mind. I wanted, you know, a darker blue green. I think I might switch over. No, is that blue or blue green? I'm gonna introduce my high intent, my dark value foliage. It's coming off screen. Just entering into the picture. And then right when it starts to say something, it gets cut off. And it's got a companion piece, which is probably it's definitely a different object. So I'm going to switch colors. But it does the same thing. So the thought process of the trees above and then this bush on the bottom, in terms of value, it does the same thing in terms of frame, you know, vignetting the main subject. So the trees up here are vignetting the dark object on a light ground, and then this dark object is vignetting the light object on the dark ground. I don't like this color. This is the olive green. So in the context of my colors right now, actually it looks fantastic on the screen though.
Mm-hmm.
It's working on the screen. Maybe I'll do similar colors on the right as on the left. So kind of committed to greens in the trees above, which is great. I don't regret. Oh, hey, Bills. How you feeling, buddy? You good? I'm going for easy answers because I'm scared to death of the pyramid foliage. So some of the easier answers, I know I got to get some dark greens. And then I know that sky is going to be, you know, probably my cerulean blue. And my powder blue. Mute myself.
That color is beautiful. It reads like a really pale, purple blue in the center.
Mm.
It's beautiful.
My sky has become darker than I had originally hoped for, but it's a really pretty blue nonetheless. So I may need, looks like I might need a higher contrast, a darker frame. Because right now the sky has become a dark sky up against light mountains. And I need it reversed for the value to work. But then again, I don't necessarily need to have it reversed. It's just that as long as the colors are clearly different. Yeah, gray though. Good. Where's my rose? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to keep my background, my mountains. I'm going to try and keep them darker, but I want to warm them up a little bit. So this, my rosy beige, I think will create the contrast that I'm looking for between the sky and the mountains. And it'll also create the contrast of value, but also, more importantly, the color. I'm still reserving the right to do one more, some excited mark making on top of the background on the right side. Yeah, when a couple of these colors, hit, it's fascinating. That these two blues next to one another, you wouldn't think. So I'm going to try and make it so I can see through my trees. And in oil, this is like what I live for. I mean, I used to be tormented by the sky showing through the tree, and then painting the sky, and then having to paint the trees, the leaves on top of that, and then having to paint the sky again, and then the leaves again, to get that high intensity interaction that occurs in nature. I used to hate it and then I understood that that's the fun. And with oil, you can do it almost an infinite amount of times, where with these color pencils, you may not have as many opportunities. That sky's gonna chip in, eat away at the edge of the trees. And I can do that, and then with my darker greens, I can come on top. Really make them stand out. And I can, I'm not scared of the branches either, because the branches are so dark and so warm. It's starting. I feel like it's starting to become something. Darkest greens. I just see these as being the richest. Oh, what's that one called? dark green. Okay, Bales, we'll go. All right, what time is it? 11:36. All right, I'm gonna go let the dog out. I'll be back by 11:41. And then I should be set. After 5 minutes of that, I should be set up for my bonfire of foliage at the base of the tree. Okay, come on, Bales, we can go. Oh, is there any pee-pees?
Oh, I wish you could take my dog too. It's bugging me.
Well, you want to go pee-pees? Yes. Oh, she's asleep.
Whose doggy is talking to us?
Oh, that's my dog. I've got him tethered to me because he's been eating every single thing in the house. The house is just going to fall down one day.
Oh.
So this is, he's just going to have to deal with this for a little bit longer.
How old is he?
He's a puppy. He's like
Oh, yeah.
11 months. So
That's the age.
yeah, I'm hoping he outgrows this pretty soon before we have to buy all new furniture.
Well, our puppy is about 8 months, so I hope I don't have that to look forward to.
No, I think you would have known by now if you had somebody who liked to munch on stuff like that. He's turned the TV on several times. He set off a car alarm when he got my car keys one day. He's quite the versatile little guy, but
I love that.
yeah.
Adventurous.
But it's like you can put up with a lot of it, but every once in a while you just get really upset. Like, why did you have to destroy that? You know.
I made it back in time.
Of
I
course.
wasn't sure if I was going to. It's so interesting going mark for mark, simultaneously having color. It's like not easy.
Very scary.
Yeah. And then to do it so aggressively. You know, like to draw with that confidence with color. And then it's almost like it's cooler if you're almost like reckless abandoned. Yeah, I think you can be rewarded for that. And just because all of his gray is universal doesn't mean that plane has to be, you know, all the same colors. You can have the same values. They can be very, very different colors. You know, making this portion up here warmer, whereas down here I made it like, you know, greener. You can do whatever you want. I want some of these dark greens notes over here too. Hold on, I think. Great. So is Maureen, did you leave? Did she have to go? She had to go. Whoa, cool. Maureen's got a nice one.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, wow.
That's
Hold
nice.
that. Listen still.
She had to go.
Yeah. It's great looking.
Mm.
I think, well, after this, I'm not gonna make you guys do it, but I've looked at this piece because I've been looking at this painting for a long time, and you know, you don't see Bonnard do animals very often, and you know, at my school, everybody wants to do it. I mean, all the kids want to do animals. Everyone wants to do animals.
Did he do pets? Did he do a dog or two?
Yeah, he did a dog or two. I mean, he had a little dachshund that was in.
Yeah.
It showed up
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. He showed up in all of his paintings. But look at this one.
Oh,
I was like,
Oh,
look at that
wow.
Oh,
bull.
that's beautiful. I
Yeah,
love that.
there's a bull. It's like
Yeah.
moving
The
and a
baby?
donkey. Well, then,
That's
and,
a-
well, that's the thing. I was looking at this bull over and over and over again, and then it's a nativity scene. So
Oh,
it's
is
like
that Jesus
it's
Yeah.
little baby Jesus,
Oh,
and there's
wow.
Joseph and Mary,
and Mary?
and then there's like the
Yeah.
ladder back there in the manger, and I bet you there's maybe even other animals.
Wow. That's great.
But yeah, I mean,
The bull face reminds me of
Mm.
Picasso a little bit.
Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah.
so interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this feels a little Lautrec-y to me too. A lot of Bonnard's early work, you can see the influences of, you know, all of his friends. I don't know if I'm going to cheat. No, I'm not. But half of me wants to get a half of me wants to get a black color pencil and just draw like, just almost like draw it on, on top. And I'm not going to do that, but I may do some other things. So that one, both of these pages have been, it's like open like this. So my piece is on this piece we're working on the left. This one's on the right. And I can't believe I didn't notice that it was a nativity scene. It's just because that bull is so commanding.
It's a little scary. It's like,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, it's a nativity scene like I've never seen before.
well, was it some sort of commentary on Christianity?
I mean, I doubt it. I mean, it may be. I don't know. I mean, it's like I've never seen him do any religious pictures.
Yeah. That wasn't very religious. It was more sort of, I don't know.
Personal.
Well, it's class. I mean, yeah, it is a classic.
Yeah, but
The
just-
concept of mother and child.
yeah,
Holy
But
family, the unit.
but the baby almost being stomped by the by the bull. It's a little
Well,
weird.
it's also, the bull is a symbol of virility.
Of what?
The
Of-
bull
oh,
can be a
right,
symbol
right.
of virility.
Yeah,
It's also Taurus, right?
yeah.
Taurus,
I don't know what that is
Yeah.
the sign for.
we are in Taurus right now. Well, the moon is. All right, so yeah, I'm doing my idea is that I need higher I was coloring it really nicely, but I need darker notes to pull out, to help separate. So I'm using this purple, and it's doing what I want it to do. It's
Oh, and God has been
Darkness.
compared to an ox.
well,
And I
this
think the
definitely-
ox was behind the bull.
definitely-
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Maybe.
Trevor. I was speaking over you. Excuse me.
No, I'm psyched. I've had yet to incorporate any yellow. Do some yellow notes. And then maybe transition into some peach. I guess it's not peach, it's the salmon. So what I did as well is I decided not to introduce any other colors than the ones that I've been working on so far. Just because I know, I mean, I have experience with them, so why not, stick with, rather than introduce new colors, stick with the known. Oh, Bella, is you okay? Dark blue. I need a deep blue. Maybe even inside. And I think hopefully working with this way can open up the comfort zone with going out and looking at kind of a chaotic infinity and trying to just every separate element that you're observing, come up with a different mark making code for it. And colors do, you know, I mean, I think they work so much better when you have like nature to go on, but not necessarily, you know. I guess that just the memory of the colors can be helpful. Yeah, a lot of these darker marks are held together. Ooh, I need branches. More branches. A lot more branches up here. Yes.
Here's mine. I decided to go with the pink river. And like,
Okay. Oh my goodness, hold on, let me stop the share now.
Oh,
Nice.
Fantastic.
yeah, let's play.
Just give me 1 second, I'm gonna pin you, okay? Takes a
I
minute.
really like
And so
the
soft.
bunches of leaves in the treetop. Yeah.
I love the softness.
this
Whoa,
is
man.
cardstock on with watercolor.
The symmetry is so special. Like you can feel everything growing out from that tree.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the evolution of nature.
Thanks, guys.
Stacy's been
Very nice.
Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Take care, Mallory.
You out of here?
Oh no,
Okay, good.
Oh, I thought you were out of here.
just giving thanks, you know.
So important.
How do you keep these pencil tips from breaking every time you sharpen them?
Yeah, pastels. A lot of pastels will not even be in pencil form for that reason. They're just blocks that never get blocks that are never
Sharp. You lose that
they're just
sharpness.
lose pigment.
Ugh, so you have to use a razor, I guess, right? I've
Yeah.
already broken off 3 tips and I can't sharpen it.
Yeah, a razor would blade would probably be better.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes even a sanding block is helpful.
Yeah.
It's weird. What should happen in that corner? Soft green. That's soft. That's the wrong pencil. That's more Bonnard than Bonnard. I wish.
This is just amazing. I also see, you know, the reflection of the tree and the foliage, a whole apple with the brown part of the tree as being the stem of the apple.
Yeah. I'm talking about here. Here,
Do you
yeah,
see that?
like right here. This is the apple.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
There's the stem.
whole round structure.
Now I made it an apple. I can, yeah. I love
Another biblical reference.
Ooh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
Good old Genesis. I can make one of the branches. I can put a snake up in the tree.
this is better than Bonnard. Oh, I love it.
Oh, good. It happened. That's delightful. My tree feels unresolved. Maybe I need a this tree leaves one step darker. All right, I'm not afraid of a little some dark notes. So this is actually black. And it should fit in there with this family.
You know what works well is indigo blue.
Ooh,
Almost black, but it has a blue.
so deep.
It's really good for shadows.
I got blue indigo.
Yeah.
I love that color.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, wow, that gives that such depth. Just that deep color you did.
Yeah, indigo is nice. Too many of these marks though. This crazy yellow or orange is hilarious. It needs an orange note. A couple of notes. Now this is getting a little muddy. If this were oil paint, forget about it. I think we got away with it. All right, let's do the unveiling. Okay. Almond tree and blossom, Bonnard. So different. So bizarre.
Trevor, I need to sign off. Can I ask if I can take some pictures? Well, I did just ask. Would anyone like to show?
Yeah.
Grace.
I'll show mine.
Let's see.
So I stuck to, I think like 4 or 5 colors.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Let's see. Oh, I
Yeah,
can't.
can you move that just, you know what, that's great.
Oh,
Forward.
If you guys could
There we
send it to me
go. That's
too.
oh,
great.
that's so nice. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, dynamite.
yeah, that's lovely.
Dynamite. Adele, you want to go?
Sure. I love the purples.
Yeah,
Pretty.
That's like a jewel.
Almond trees need to have some flowers around the bottom.
Yeah, that one's fabulous.
Nice.
yeah.
Poster time. All right, Stace, what you got?
I had to stop because I couldn't see the image. My phone, I can't use my phone anymore. So I had to stop after I started
I love
to,
that though.
you know,
Mhm.
do
Nice
my
drawing.
little outline. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice
Hey, your
drawing.
setup, nice.
Is that
I
on
stuck-
gray paper?
No, it's on white paper.
Oh,
It's like a stone. It's like a stone, though. It's like a stone.
yeah.
paper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird. I've never
Mm.
seen paper like this. It's not, it's like it's modeled.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's very weird. I'm not comfortable with it, but I want to use up this pad.
Steph, can we see yours?
Yeah.
Why don't you use that paper to do some kind of stone sculpture or something?
Good idea.
Oh,
Good
cool.
idea.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Thank you.
Stephanie, the bottom of your paper is flipping. So if you
You're gonna have
could
to
just get a third hand,
My
excellent.
dog's gone now, so I can't do it.
Yeah, I got it. That's great.
So strong.
Yeah.
You
The
gotta-
mountains.
You got to get some better paper. Your drawings are too good to be on little
Okay.
papers like that.
All right. I'll come get Stacy's modeled paper.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I don't know. This is interesting. I'm finding a bunch of different versions of our tree here, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess this is the closest one. Oh, you guys can't see it.
Hmm.
Is this his final version?
I believe so. Screen share. I would Google it, but it really does look a lot different.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
Wow. Completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you can
It
see,
doesn't look like
you
the
can see
same
trace.
piece.
I mean, you can see trace amounts. Like you can see
Mm-hmm.
the like the movements in the trunk. You can kind of see even this mass up here, like this mass up here, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, and you see your favorite part, the sky through the
Yeah,
trees.
I love
Through
the,
the
how it's
leaves.
darker.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that.
this is another version.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And these
that's
look,
the tree and flower.
yeah, these
Right.
look
Yes,
a lot more like
spring.
a tree and flower.
And then this has like mountain and
Oh,
sky,
there you go.
and then it's got like this interesting grove. But
Yeah,
yeah,
No wonder it took him years. He painted a bunch of different ones.
mhm.
Yeah. It's like the
Mhm.
final. No, this is the final.
No,
No.
this is it. No, this is it.
Exactly.
This is the last one. No, this is the last one.
Oh, I like this one.
I do too. I'm not even sure if it's a Bonnard, but
It doesn't
yeah, it
look
is. No, it is.
like it. Really?
Yeah, this one feels more like
yeah, it is.
this feels more like the one that we just did.
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
the trees up top, the thin branch, and then if you look at the bottom, like this diamond that Adele really exemplified
Yeah.
that form, and then this row, this triangle on the bottom, this triangle on the bottom here. It's just what it's lacking here is that steep mountain angle. Just
Yeah.
different
Look at that great,
that's the only part that's different, really. I mean,
like
in
a
terms of
purple
in terms of
rose.
the vision of the space being
That door color is wild.
And I love that it feels like we're hidden, observing that little
Yeah.
girl from far.
That's
Wow.
nice. That's great.
Ooh,
it's beautiful.
I love those unguarded moments.
Yeah. And these are oil?
Mm-hmm. It's not very. I
Oh.
did HD, but it's not very well in focus. Oh, look!
Oh,
He's
that
using
water is
he's using the
beautiful.
waves and the.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that! Oh my god! I guess it's a tree. Some nice painting. There's the same one. That's funky.
Nice
Look
palm.
at these
Oh.
huge triangles coming in from the top. These
Yeah.
palms.
I
Wow.
like the triangles in
That's really,
the foreground is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all those soft pastels, those high intensity pink blossoms,
Mm.
these grays. Yeah, and but the audacity of these, the dark purples and the dark greens in here. That's bold. There's that vertical column I was talking about earlier. Like who knows the ambiguous this must be a tree trunk on that side, but
Yeah. And yeah.
ooh.
Oh, nice.
oh, that sky.
Yeah,
Wow.
that reminds me a little bit of the first one we did.
It looks like watercolor almost.
Yeah.
There's our girl. So that was
I like
that was
that.
like the one that we were looking at too, where it had like all of that foliage around the lake, but then really kind of the breath of calm on that horizontal water plane. Boats. Wow, that's haunting.
There's that bull.
Yeah. And the donkey.
Yeah.
And he's like this, and these, I mean, and then where you really get, then these are we were just checking out his landscapes, but his still lives and his interior, he's like kind of famous for being these interiors looking out of a window.
Yeah.
So that he loves that. This is one of those great paintings. It's almost the guy in the video was saying how this looks like an artist's easel,
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
but it's really like the chair being,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, look at that.
values. There's zero separation. It's an example of lost and found. So you the back of the chair, and then it gets lost because it's the exact same color and value as the window frame. Yeah, it's a good game.
That's definitely
Makes me
centered
think
right
of a-
middle.
Yeah, of a Frank Lloyd Wright pair.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, very neutral. Like, for him, like really, not high intensity.
Toned down.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Love that.
He painted me too. Me too. Really, these trees just bring you way deep into that forest. Love this little ridge here. All time. Yeah. Ooh, hello.
Wow.
It's called When Snow Fell.
Ah,
Yeah, it's like a winter wonderland.
Snow fell on Bonnard's almond tree. Now I'm wondering if somebody else painted that. No, I don't think so. Maybe. Yeah. All right, y'all. No,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Great work, everyone.
Trevor, thank you so much.
You're going to send me some of those pics.
Everybody have
I
a
love
great
it.
week.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.